Yeah, Weege Show. Welcome to Budds Creek. 2 WMX motos on a Friday. This show is brought to you by the Honda CRF250F and CRF250F. Had some great racing in WMX. There will be a moto live tomorrow during the halftime break between motos 1 and 2 for 250 and 450. While Turner could wrap up the title today. She had a 24-point lead going in, but Charlie Cannon won the first moto about 2 hours ago. Now they're back on the track, and I believe they're battling, and if I can time my talking just right, we'll get an update on this moto. I am going to go to press day, and we're going to talk to Cole Davies and Kaden Dudney to see how their debut weekends. Well, there it is. Turner's now in the lead. But if they split today, 1-1, 1-2, it'll still be a 24-point lead and still not a title for Turner, but that's quite a comeback. She was pretty far back. Not sure if Cannon went down or what might have happened. Let's get the press day with those boys, and then we'll be back with a topic that we apparently have not talked about enough on this show or any other. Okay, we're starting the Weege Show right here. This is Kaden Dudney. Now everybody knows who you are. They probably heard of you, but after last week, I think more people know who you are. What do you think?
That's a good question.
Wait, you gotta hold the dumb microphone up higher. There you go. Yeah. It's so awkward.
That's a good question. I don't know though. I mean, I still feel like kind of a ghost in a way.
Okay.
But I mean, it is what it is.
Well, how can anyone deny, like, dude, this kid had a good ride? Like, did you feel that, or did you feel like you were just riding, or you're like, darn, I'm doing pretty good right now?
Definitely a little bit of both. I felt like I was just riding like myself, you know, just out there flowing, just smooth lines, just riding, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it was good.
But I read in an interview you were like, I think Hammaker or somebody was in front of you, and you're like, hey, wait, we must be pretty far at the front right now.
Yeah. I mean, I got a good start, and I kind of went backwards a little bit, like a couple positions, but I wasn't exactly sure at where I was at, and then I was behind Hammaker, and I was like, wait, he was up there in like third.
Yes.
And then I realized, I was like, shoot, I'm in like fourth.
Yes.
That's crazy. But, yeah, it was good.
Do you even feel like you're 100%? Like, you told me you broke your arm twice. You had not raced in months. Are you actually someone on the comeback trail and making your debut at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, fitness is still like not quite there at where it was.
Yes.
But I mean, we're still building, so we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, but dude, you're doing a 30-minute pro moto for the first time ever, and you're literally saying I'm not quite 100%, and still was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's
I
pretty
think
good.
It was a little bit better than pretty good.
It
was really good.
Yeah. Second moto, you ended up 13th, but that was not a pure fade. There was a crash there or something?
Yeah, I didn't have a crash. I just tipped over in the bottom of Screw You, and then I was pumped up and tried to like cut out of this one corner like a half lap later and just fell over again. But managed to like get back up and 13th.
Yes,
in that moto.
But you were further up than that before the crash. But it's not like you just all of a sudden hit the wall at 20 minutes.
No, it's crazy because like all the guys like from 3rd to like 15th are right there, like within like 15 seconds of each other.
Oh yeah, no, it
was like really tight. I was like, dang. I was just like in 4th, and I went back to like 13th.
Yes, but only because of crashes. Yeah. Not because you got mega tired.
No, only because of crashes.
The last thing is if you fall in Screw You at the bottom, how much does that suck? That's my question.
It was tough to get up for sure. Like,
yes.
I thought I was gonna loop out. You just like wide open, just going out there.
Yeah, hill climbing.
Loop out, but yeah.
Hill climbing. Okay, now we have seen guys have great debuts. They're powered by adrenaline, they're fired up, there's really no pressure, there's no expectations. Was that at all a part of it last week, or can you do the same thing here? Did you feel at all like, man, the adrenaline was flowing in a way I haven't felt normally? Or is it a normal race and this could just be another one?
I thought it was just a normal race.
Okay.
I was like, it's just, I mean, every race is just another race. Nothing special about it. You're just racing everyone and like the track, honestly. So, I mean, just go out there and just ride like you know how. Should be good.
Okay, this is Cole Davies. Look, man, were you ready to race? Because people are going to be like, Cole was winning in Supercross. Why was it so rough last week? But were you even ready last week? Or are you just getting ready?
Yeah, no, it was my first professional motocross race. It was my first race back off injury, you know. First time riding the track. There was a lot of stuff new for me. I wasn't really comfortable. I wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't a good weekend for me. So, you know, I'm going to try, you know, turn it around this weekend, have a positive weekend, and build for SMX.
Yeah, are you even like, if there was an SMX and points on the line and all that, would you have even raced? Is it a little bit of a rush? Is it a little early right now?
I don't know, to be honest. Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the full you right there.
No.
No. What did you learn there? What did you learn during the week to make this weekend better?
Just come in, I had a good week. We did some moto, did some sprints. I'm feeling good and I'm ready for this weekend.
Okay, and finally, motocross. The big question everybody has on you is, are you just way better at Supercross than motocross? Can you answer that question yourself? Do you even know the answer to that? Can you be fast outdoors?
Yeah, I can. I'll be able to answer that. Obviously, I'm still coming off injuries.
Yes.
My second pro motocross race. Everything's still new to me, but at some point I'll be able to show everyone that I'm
That's
not
what we
just
want
a
to hear.
Supercross guy.
That's what we want to hear. Okay, good luck to those young riders out there. That's Cole Davies and Kaden Dudney. And these young riders, look at this. We got the other track that you might not even know exists at Budds Creek. This is a dirt track. We have a very basic track, and we got Stasics out here, young riders learning what it's like to ride a motorcycle. Now let's get to the topic that we don't talk about on any show. This is the tree, and this is the forest. Let's see the forest and the trees. Hey, sir, you have a pass or? There is, it's got kids. I didn't even know this was going on. Check this out. Look at this. They turned this into like a motocross track on the infield.
Is that Jett Lawrence?
Well, gosh. See, we have some new fans that are clueless about how any of this works. These are just kids.
You know what happens when you step on a black man's shoe?
Uh-oh.
We're just at a motocross track. That's what happens.
Okay, fine. Well, that came true. That did happen.
Got one
down.
down.
We got one down.
2 down.
Man, you know what? The way you called that, you could have a future in television.
Yeah.
I feel like you know what you're doing.
Back in my day, I used to do some stuff around here.
Race or talk?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
A
little bit of both.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a jump in like the crest of a hill?
Yeah, I mean...
Because there was a guy here one time at Budds Creek. There was like a jump in the middle of this hill.
That Stu kid, right?
Yes, it was him.
Yeah, no, I showed him how it was done. I'm the original OG Bubba.
Oh, here we go. Sure.
I mean, back in 2003, that's when he did it, but I was doing this back in 2000s. Just didn't see it coming.
Oh, really? So he got the credit.
He got the credit. I didn't get my chance. Nobody took a photo of me.
How many times has there been some loser outside the fence watching, doesn't even have a pass, claiming that he's the real star?
I'm the real Stu. I'm the real Stu.
Sure.
I go Malcolm Stewart's brother.
I don't even know if he's good enough to be Malcolm Stewart's brother at this point. All right, we had to get out of there. Had to get out of that side part of the track. That guy's really annoying. But that's how it works. People have a little taste of riding a dirt bike. That guy probably rode one time in his life and he thinks he's the man. I don't even know who that guy is. Didn't even have a pass. Anyway, let's talk about the topic I wanted to talk about as I go resume racing there. This is something I have not seen talked about on videos, on social, or on YouTube, so I'm going to do it. Gypsy Tales podcast, if you look at Gypsy Tales podcast, their Instagram channel had a very interesting piece that they put up just the other day with Jeff Emig, one of my old co-workers, co-hosts here at the show. Love working with Jeff. Just want to show you the big track here after showing the dirt track. Getting ready for the National tomorrow. Okay, so Gypsy Tales, a really cool topic that I saw on their Instagram this week. Good job, Jace. Jeff Emig's on there, and Jeff's talking about how, just a bit of a celebrity in our world, right? He's gone to F1 races and MotoGP races, and he's friends with rock stars and actors and celebrities. And they all tell him their respect level for motocross and supercross, how gnarly it is, how risky it is. They know how rad it is. So why is it if people that are in more successful forms of entertainment, Formula One drivers, MotoGP riders, athletes, celebrities, musicians, if they know it's so awesome, why isn't this as popular as their sport? So it was an interesting question that they put out there. And on the Gypsy Instagram, they said, give us your thoughts. Why isn't it bigger than F1 if the F1 drivers know how awesome it is? So I read through the comments, which is probably mistake number one. And I was shocked that no one knew the real answer. Well, two people did. Shout out to Josh Cartwright, Supercross Privateer. He had the right answer. I know what the right answer is, by the way. And then one other person. I saw, oh, it's not as big because the TV coverage isn't as good. Our camera angles aren't as good, or the sport's not trying to grow. The promoters are not trying hard enough to grow. Or the riders are boring, or not enough inside information gets out. We don't have Netflix. On and on went the reasons. That is not the reason. So let me give you the real reason. There is a simple one-to-one direct metric. The more popular the sport is, i.e. the more relatable, the more people who have actually done it, the more popular the sport is. I didn't know I would ever have to explain this, but we got to step away from the forest and see the trees and look at the big picture. This is not something that most people have ever done. Now, it's great that there were kids on Stasics out on that track getting that experience. It's great that that random guy that came up to the fence and claimed that he rode and taught James Stewart a thing or two. It's great that they've had that experience. But let's just look. I'm going to give you the metrics to explain this. The most popular sport in the world is soccer. What is the simplest sport in the world to do? Soccer. You only need a ball. You can actually find a grass field without a buddy and dribble a soccer ball, that's what they call it, and still have fun without even having a goal or someone to beat. Find two people in a goal, now you got yourself a soccer game. Football, American football, that's the most popular sport here, but if you start rolling in the other versions of it, there's just cultural divide over rugby, Australian rules football. Oh, I got it in here, hang on. We got it. Just doesn't look so good on camera. There we go, boys. Football, Australian rules football, rugby, NFL, American football, Canadian Football League, add it all together, very popular sport. Doesn't take a lot to do it. Again, you just need a grass field. Now, it's a little harder than soccer because you really need at least one other person to throw or catch to or tackle. Pretty basic, really popular. Basketball, you need a goal. You can play by yourself. Very simple, very popular. You start going down the list of the popularity sports. Baseball, you need a little more. You need a little more. You really need someone to pitch and really someone to catch and someone to hit. You really need other people to catch once it's hit. You really need 4 or 5 people to kind of make it work in a bigger field. So baseball or cricket, that's the cultural divide. Pretty popular, maybe not quite as popular globally as far as how many people play it or watch it as a World Cup soccer or the NFL. Baseball's a little harder to do. NFL is taking control here, a little bit easier to do. Everyone goes out there with the family on Thanksgiving and throws the pigskin around. Follow this logic. Hockey, popular, not quite as popular as with other sports, but very popular. But hockey is restricted on, especially if you're talking ice hockey, the true experience of it. You either have to have a rink that has ice in it or live in an area that has ice at some part of the year. Is it not obvious that soccer, it's played pretty much anywhere. Hockey is more popular in areas that have more ice. Canada, Minnesota, Russia, Finland, Northern Europe, or all the northern states of the United States. More people have experienced it. More people become fans of these sports. Golf, a little bit harder to do. Got to have a golf course. Golf starts taking some money. A lot of people have done it, not as many. So it's very popular, but not as popular as the sports that are easier to do. I've basically never played golf, like ever. Never done it. Of course I play basketball and football and all those normal things. It's so easy. It's just right in the yard or the driveway. Let's go to racing now. Let's go to racing. I know you wouldn't think that most people have driven a race car. They haven't, but in their mind they have. Almost all adults drive a car. And maybe at some point they've gone 90 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour and thought, dude, I was just going 100. Wait, these guys go double that? That's crazy, bro. You feel in some way, shape, or form what a car crash could be like, or maybe you've even been in it, or what it's like to pass someone. You feel in some way that you're connected to that experience. You can relate to that experience, which is dumb, I know, to think that driving 75 in the interstate is like driving a Formula One car or NASCAR. But I mean, look, when you're throwing the football around on Thanksgiving with the family, you're not exactly Peyton Manning either. There's a massive divide, but you still feel you can relate. Let's look at the sports that have rocketed up in the popularity game over the last couple decades. UFC wasn't even a thing at one point. Now it's honestly one of the world's most popular sports. UFC is the simplest sport, the easiest to understand sport in the history of sports. It's two people fighting. That's been relatable and understandable for a million years. You can at least understand the concept of fighting someone, even if you haven't been in a fight yourself. But how many people have wrestled with their brother or their dad or something? It's relatable. Let's keep going on the motorsports. And by the way, before UFC, the boxing was very popular. Boxing had its own internal problems, kind of drifted off popularity-wise. UFC has basically taken that slot. Fighting has always been incredibly popular because it's incredibly relatable. Okay, so we've experienced the car racing. The regular sports are more known than this. What's up?
Bud's Creek.
Bud's Creek, kind of like Redbud. Motorcycle racing. What is the most popular form of motorcycle racing in the world? It's MotoGP, road racing. More popular in Europe specifically than it is here. And the true cradle of it in Europe is Spain and Italy. Hey, gang. I've been there. Partially thanks to Tony Crowley's retirement party years ago in Rome. People commuting into the city, they're doing it on scooters. I'm going to give a rough estimate. 20, 30% of the people are using a scooter, two wheels, as their primary commuter vehicle. In America, motorcycles are recreation. Motorcycles are something you have in addition to your car or truck, something you take out on the weekend for fun. But in Italy and Spain, some people, that is their only vehicle. Is it no surprise then that because two wheels is relatable, maybe one time someone came into a turn a little too hot on their scooter, or there was some gravel, or there was some rain. That's the country where Valentino Rossi is God. They can relate. It's integrated into their everyday life. Let's get to the motocross part. How many people have ridden a dirt bike? How many people can relate to what is going on? Is it 5%? Is it 10? Is it 3? I just want to make sure that when you're trying to solve this problem of why isn't this sport bigger, we're aiming in the right direction. It's not based on the risk. It's not based on the gnarliness. It's not based on the athleticism. Because look, if you were basing how much money and how much of a celebrity people were based on their risk and the gnarliness, then the people that are stringing up telephone pole lines way up in the air, they would be celebrities and they would be millionaires. It's just not how it actually works. The metric is based on, can people relate to it? Can they understand the gnarliness? And here, most people haven't experienced this. Now, this is not to take blame away. This is not for us to say that the TV show can't be better, or the riders can't be better, or the media can't be better. I'm not doing this to try to absolve ourselves. But what I know is that every day of the week, we are trying to be better all the time. And that's what all the other sports are doing. We all have that part in common. You don't think that UFC or the NFL or the World Cup, when it shows up next year for soccer, aren't also trying to be better all the time? Of course they are. We have that part in common. What they have is 4 billion people in the world who've probably kicked a soccer ball around. Like almost all adults around the world have driven a car. In Italy, a lot of people who've ridden on two wheels. What's up, gang? We don't have that here in the motocross world. You guys racing today or just hanging out?
Oh, we're going out, man.
Yep. You're hanging out. But
yeah, racing Supercross tonight.
Okay, so you're riding dirt bikes.
Yes, sir.
You've done that your whole life, probably.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that track on the infield's pretty rad.
It's pretty gnarly.
I'm pretty impressed, actually.
It's a little squirrely.
Yes. I hope you're not squirrely, just a track. Just a track. Here's where I think we got off the path of not even realizing this super basic thing that I had to dedicate this whole show to, because I've actually never heard anyone explain it. In this world that we live in here at the motocross track, most of us have done this their whole life. Your dad probably did it, your uncle did it, your family did it, you grew up doing it, and then by a byproduct of that, you have friends that do it. It doesn't seem that weird or that foreign. It doesn't seem like 95% of the world hasn't experienced it before. But that's the actual reality outside of these fences. So the real key to growth, yes, we can get better at everything we do, but we're trying to do that. The real key to growth is getting more people to have experienced it in the first place. And that's why I started the video with the kids on the Stasic track over on the Supercross track. If they've experienced it one time, even at 2 miles an hour, that's no different than throwing the football in the backyard. The gap between you and Peyton Manning throwing a football, the gap between them and Jett Lawrence on the Stasics, the gap between you on the interstate and Max Verstappen in a F1 car, the gap is the same. It doesn't matter how big that gap is. You just need to have experienced it one time to understand what it's like. And unfortunately, most people have not experienced what it's like to try to go fast on a motocross track on a dirt bike. That is the biggest difference. And I only bring this up for 2 reasons. A, I don't want to try to fix the parts that aren't broken. B, I want to try to fix the parts that are the actual issue. You got to get more kids to have experienced life on 2 wheels. And further, to defend this industry a little bit, this industry probably does the best job of taking what it has, the enthusiasts it does have, which is a very small number compared to these other sports I mentioned, and making the most of it. As in, we actually watch Supercross races on a Saturday and be like, oh, I don't know if that bike looks so good in the whoops. Maybe next year I'm going to buy a different bike. The whoops on a Supercross track, you're never even going to experience that. And they're factory motorcycles. But we still buy the bikes, the gear, the goggles, all these other things based on what we see on Saturday. We make the most of the enthusiast base that we have, and thank goodness for that, because the actual pool of fans isn't big enough alone to keep this going. It's because the manufacturers, teams, the gear companies have decided that this is a direct connection. This is an enthusiast-based sport. I mean, the NFL's success is not based on how many footballs they sell at Dick's Sporting Goods. Here it is based on how many motorcycles they sell on that touch point. And luckily, they've decided to use that metric, which almost overinflates the value, thankfully, from what is a true niche sport. It's still something people can compete in full-time, and some even make millions of dollars at it. But I'm going to talk more about that and the connection between having a track at Budds Creek that you can ride on an amateur day, that you can compete on the same motorcycle. Someone's like, hey, Jett and Hunter had a 2025 Honda that was different than the 24, and they had to learn how to ride it and set it up. I had to do the same thing. Somebody bought a 25 Honda and was comparing it to the 24. That direct connection, that's the part that this sport gets right. We just need to make that part, that feeling, bigger. We're going to talk about that a little more on tomorrow's show. But I've certainly talked enough today about a topic I didn't even think I'd even have to bring up. I thought this was obvious. I thought this was known. It was not. Okay, now you know. We'll see you tomorrow at Budds Creek, and we'll talk more motocross in general, not just the championships. Thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks.